Okay, so cold. I'm sitting in one of these swings in my son's outdoor classroom, one of the outdoor classrooms at his school. And thinking a lot about vulnerability and how I talk a lot about sitting with things that are hard and the importance of sitting with things that are hard or being with things that are hard. And I have found myself today and yesterday having a lot of trouble sitting with some things that are really hard. and it's feeling a little ironic. So there's something going on with my husband and we don't know what it is. And I'll start by saying that yesterday was kind of a Valentines Day, was kind of a trip because it was on the eve of celebrating 3 years of sobriety for my husband. 3 years ago today, it's been 3 years today since he has had a drink. And that's because on Valentine's Day 3 years ago, I woke up to him having a very serious seizure in our bed in the middle of the night. And that was really a scary experience, as you can imagine. And there were a lot of things that we talked about, but it seemed like maybe alcohol was the perturbing factor. And so he quit. And it was his commitment to our family and to himself, to his life. He wanted a different life. For him, too much alcohol, he was never happy with just one, drink. He always wanted a little bit more than that. And it wasn't like he was, some drunk. But he just kind of always knew maybe there was an issue there. And so he gave it up. And he chose us and he chose our life together. And it felt amazing. It has felt amazing. And every time we've celebrated that anniversary, the last couple of years, it's been this huge celebration. And last year, on this day, I remember feeling like, God, you did it. We did it. And here we are. And we're so fortunate and so thankful that it's all okay, and whatever that seizure thing was, it's done, and we figured it out. And then Easter Sunday, during COVID last spring, I woke up to him having a seizure again. And, my son slept through these things. I closed the door and, I have an expired EMT license. I sort of know what to do. It's really scary for me, but I get through it. And then he's okay. He just needs to sleep, and rest. And I managed to get the eggs hidden, and he was able to pull himself together and do Easter morning for the sake of our son. And, we were able to carve out some time together that day to talk. And we kind of chalked it up to stress and went on with our lives. And then on October 10th, this fall, there was another one, and it was really big. And that was only 6 months after the first. And that big one was really scary. And again, in the middle of the night. And again, our son slept through it. This time I didn't call EMS. I did it on my own. And it was scary. And then in December, on the 10th of December, he had another one. And then last week he had another one. And when it happened this fall, we sought medical attention, obviously. And there had been a big hack at our hospital, and so all the medical records, everything froze. There was nothing anybody could do about it, and we couldn't get in to see a neurologist or anybody else. When it happened in December, that sort of pushed things through somehow, and we were able to get a neurologist, and he was able to start medication, and so here we are 2 months later, and he's, on this medication. He's been working his way up, and the dosage, and it should be a stable amount, and he should be, potentially clear of seizures. And we were blindsided on Wednesday morning with another one. And so the testing is picked back up, and there's blood work that shows liver enzymes all over the place, and we don't know what that means yet, and we have to talk with more doctors to find out. And all of this is to say, there's been a lot of being in ambiguity, and a lot of sort of scary stuff. But throughout most of this, my husband has had this pretty amazing positive attitude about what's going on. And we've sort of, we like to blend Eastern and Western medicine, and we like to think in terms of energy bodies. And we think, he has spent 40 years of his life stuffing it and not saying what's true for him. And, he spent a lot of time growing up being told to, shut up, basically. You're to be seen and not heard, or, he stuffed it. He learned to stuff it for a long time. And not voicing his anger, not voicing his contempt, not voicing his frustrations with things, just swallowing it. And, for the many years that he and I have been together, I've been encouraging him to speak his truth, saying things like, that's going to just make you sick someday. That's going to give you cancer if you just stuff it, like, I'm never going to grow up if you don't. Well, I'll grow up, but I'll grow up so much more slowly than if you were to just say and mirror back to me, you're being an asshole, rather than just swallowing it and walking away. My God, just say it, get it out. So anyway, this fall he started to let it go. He started to dive in. He read Robert Bly's Iron John and started to examine his role as a man, as a son. And he's doing a lot of personal work to unwind and unpack and shake it out. And that's what we've kind of been thinking these seizures have been, this sort of shaking it out, like shaking it off, like a dog shakes off a bad fight, just like move on. It seems like body intelligence. It seems like energy intelligence. But at the same time now, it's getting to be this kind of pattern. And even with medication, it's happening. And yesterday, he hit a wall, His positive attitude and kind of outlook on, life and seeing the silver linings and the beauty of the personal growth and the richness it's brought to his parenthood and his presence in our partnership and in our family life. The things I've been speaking of, this intimacy that we've been sharing, it's been an amazing, loaded experience that has been full of gifts for sure, full of silver linings. But he hit a wall yesterday, and he had to feel his feelings, and he has to feel the frustration and the fear, and I realized, fuck, I can't sit with this. I want to move away from it, I want to hey, until we know anything, let's not, go down these roads until we, know what road we're going down, and let's, And I think I'm afraid of depression. I've lived in depression before. It runs in my family. I've had a little dark tunnel of my own, and a time when mentally I knew that light existed at the end of the tunnel, that life insists that everything's a cycle, and you must get liberated. You must find the other side. It's just a matter of when, and I don't know how, but it's going to come. And then it finally came one day, and the light happened. And anyway, depression has been something that scares the shit out of me ever since. And when I see him feeling his feelings, which is a beautiful thing and a necessary thing, I got so scared. And I just couldn't breathe yesterday. I'm trying to hold up my son and you know, he's got so many angels around him. He has slept through every one of these things. He knows what's going on. He knows that his dad is having seizures and we don't know why. He's going through his 9-year change where everything is impermanent and there's no guarantees that mom and dad are always going to be there. And so he's wrestling with some really big stuff, I think, right now. And he has anxieties every day that I have to hold with him and assure him and care for him the best that I can. And my husband is, he's living out loud more than he ever has. And it's keeping energy in motion. And I know it's so important. And he got quiet yesterday and the energy stopped and was holding. And I guess maybe that's the part that scared me so much is I'm like, can we just sit tall and breathe and be with this stuff together and feel the fear and stuff together? Because going into a hole and not talking and sitting in the dark and shutting down, oh God, that scares me so much. And I want to touch it together. I want to sit with it together. And then I want to get the hell out of it, you know? And what we need is some information and a path, right? We need a path, a plan of action. And we're working toward that. He's having that conversation right now with our doctor, looking at these blood test results and charting the path forward. And then, you know, see the neurologist in March and circle back with him and add to his dose of his medication, you know, tomorrow. And so I'm being with a lot of not knowing, and I'm being like, I'm aware of how I'm dancing around my own fear. And just, you know, I forgive myself that, but I needed to say it here. And I'll just keep being with it, I guess. At least in talking about not being able to be with it, is being with it in some way. And hopefully I'll be able to move toward it with him soon. Anyway, so here I am, sharing with you, living out loud, practicing vulnerability, being afraid and raw and scared and alive, just so alive, you know. Get really alive when you taste how, I don't know, fragile it all is and precious, yeah. So I'm going to try to do more yoga and meditation and journaling. We have a snow day tomorrow because there's a giant storm coming in tonight, which is the first one that I'm actually not stoked about. I just, we're about to have winter break. I was looking forward to the space, to spending the day with Josh tomorrow and having some privacy, you know, before our son is home for the next week and a half from school. But getting my first sensation of cabin fever, you know. I've been listening to a lot of people have COVID fatigue and whatever, and I've been pretty chill, pretty okay. And I'm just starting to like, God, need to get out. So just being with it. There it is. There it all is. So thanks for holding it too.